Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe, and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, ROP's new business is going great. The best part is he can walk away from Choosing Beggars. Let's jump right in. I got laid off at the beginning of June, took a short pandemic vacation, then started looking for work. My options were slim, so I started taking side jobs to pay bills, and now in August, I have a fairly good handyman business with a 60-day waiting list. Honestly, getting laid off is the best thing that has happened to me in years. So last week, I get a call from a potential client. He first interrogates me for a few minutes about my skill sets, references, and rates. I am immediately put off by him, and then he goes full butthole when he does not like my answers. "Are you Smith?" Not my real name. "Yes, who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?" "I am Joe, the guy you might get the chance to work for." "Is that so?" "Are you bonded? What are your limits?" "Yes, I am insured, and should we decide to enter an agreement, I can provide you with a copy of the cert." "I will need a copy now." "I can send you one, but what is the scope of work you are looking for?" "Are you a licensed electrician?" "Yep, my TECL number is blank. I am required by law to divulge this info on request." "What are your rates?" "I don't work T&M, I bid job turnkey." "Oh, you didn't grasp the concept. What dollar value do you assign to each hour you bid?" I had already decided there was no way in hell I was going to work for this guy at the insurance demand. "I typically use $75 an hour for bid work." "What? I don't make that much, and I guarantee I am way more educated than you are." "Is that so? Well, that is my rate. It's for the 12 years of training it took to get my master's license, my insurance, tools, truck, overhead, taxes, and the time I spend on calls like this. Considering bigger companies with bigger overhead charges $125, I am a bargain at my price. I am only willing to pay $45. "Then have a nice day." "Wait, I can do $65. "Well, since you are so educated, then you can also do it yourself." This little haggle goes on for about 5 minutes, and he very begrudgingly said we can review the rate after I price the scope. Joe then starts going over the scope in detail, and one of the things he wants done is to bury the service. It is overhead to his house, and he wants it underground. As he is describing the distance and obstacles, I tell him I need to see it. Joe drones on and on about what I should include in my bid. "Let me stop you for a second. What is your address?" "Why do you need that? I am telling you everything you need to know to bid the work." "I need to see the area on Google Earth, so I can see where the overhead service is, what kind of obstacles there may be, get an idea if there is rock, etc. Besides, I will need to walk the job before I give you a price. Regardless of what you say the job is, I still need to see it." "I just want you to bid what I tell you to bid." I am not very educated and need a visual. At this impasse, he finally gives me his address, and when I Google it, his house is in an area where the cheapest house is probably in the $2 million range, and it just goes up from there. I would ballpark his house in the $3 to $4 million range. It is also in an area that is known to have lots of rock. That little underground job just got 4 times more expensive, and given his location, so did everything else. Yeah, I charge rich people more money. I also give breaks to single mothers who barely get by. It's how I am. After about 20 minutes of him going on and on about the scope, how I am supposed to protect his trees, his grass, I can only park in a certain area and can only have 2 trucks on site, blah blah blah. Then he says this: "Your work days will be Monday to Friday and will start at 7 a.m., lunch at 12 to 12:30, and you start your cleanup from 2:30 to 3. I will not tolerate long lunches." Excuse me? I am not an hourly worker. I choose my work hours, my breaks, and how long they may be. It has nothing to do with what you find tolerable. I am paying your exorbitant rates, and that $65 an hour means you work for me. Well, it's $75, and given how difficult you are, I will probably add a 1.5 PTA factor. What is that? You are already a pain in the ass, and dealing with your attitude will cost me money. I will be adding that into my bid. I find your attitude very unprofessional. Considering my honesty, I think it is very professional. You should know why my price will be high. When you treat tradesmen with disrespect, they will charge you more. At this point, Joe gets irate, starts yelling about Yelp, and hangs up. Thank God I work for myself. In story number 2, a choosing beggar wants a friend to get him a good deal on a hotel, but has some pretty high expectations. I work at 2 hotels overnight and have worked at 4 over the past 3 years. I love my job and proudly give my card out to friends and family and tell them to call if they need to get away or want a vacation, so I can work the rate down and help them get into a nice place for a good rate. I've worked everywhere from crack hotels to luxury hotels where big names like Bonnier Best, Bim Bardashian, and John Stamos have stayed. Wink wink. Fast forward to tonight, my friend messages me asking for a room for a staycation, celebration of anniversary. Thing is, they are looking to book for today. It's midnight. Everywhere is sold out. I checked prices at my old property. It's a super luxury place, but great for anniversaries. $500 to $700 a night, discounted or free anniversary dinner at their 5-star restaurant with free wine and a card in the 1,600 square foot room upon arrival. They say that's too expensive. Okay, round 2. I checked the prices at my nicer current property. $370 to $250 with a friends and family rate, and discounted meal in our 5-star restaurant. They say that's also too expensive. Again, okay. Round 3. I check my rates at the property I'm working now. $180 with a bottle of wine from me. They're taking their time to think about it. These were 3 of the 5 properties I personally called and spoke to about rates, trying to work it down on the day of the reservation. I'm great at my job, but you gotta give me something to work with. Hit me up a few days before and I can work with my coworkers or ex-coworkers to get a good price. But midnight, on the morning of the date that you want to book, on a sold-out weekend at that. I'm not a magician, and hotels capitalize on price when they know they only have a few rooms left. I wish I could have helped, but of the 5 places I price checked for her, 1 was quasi-acceptable and they are thinking about it. A good rule of thumb if you're traveling: first, call the hotel, always. Just call, get in contact with a human at the desk, and price check. We are humans. Third-party websites are not. Secondly, always book in advance. I cannot stress this enough. I know it's not as wild as the usual stories, but I had to share. Here's an update. She did not call me back for the room. In story number 3, a choosing beggar hires someone to write sheet music, but then when it comes time to pay... Someone I know asked me to write some sheet music, saying that he was willing to pay. For reference, I am not a professional composer or musician in any way. I don't charge much. I usually charge $60 an hour for music-related jobs, but charged him a $40 flat fee for this 3 to 4 hour job. I spent a couple hours composing this short piece for what I assume is a podcast or audiobook type project. After I finished the composition, I told him that he would need to wait for a better recording as I left my alto flute at my other house, and it would be another 5 days or so until I could access it again for recording. Our conversation went more or less like this. Let's refer to my customer as C. Alright, I'll charge a flat fee of $40 for my time. Okay, I don't have $40 right now, but I'll get it to you ASAP. Sounds good. I'll make an acoustic recording rather than a low-quality synthesized version next week, and it'll be done by Tuesday. I felt as though the price I had sent was more than reasonable, as it was about a sixth of what I'd usually get paid for similar jobs. Apparently, however, he didn't. About 15 minutes after those texts came this. Actually, can I pay you $20 rather than $40? What? I only have $20 right now. You asked me to do a job that takes 3 to 4 hours. I'm charging a sixth of what I usually charge for a job like this. You're paying me for the time I spent on this and the time I am going to continue to spend on it. Okay, $40 it is. I only wish it ended there, but it didn't. 5 minutes later, I got this text. Actually, never mind. Delete it and forget about it. I'm sorry. I have already spent a couple of hours working on this. You can't just not pay me for a job you asked me to do for you. After a bit of slightly agitated texting, I eventually settled for $20 without the professional recording. I still feel like I've been ripped off a bit, though I am happy that it wasn't a total loss for me. This has been John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like and share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.